Welcome back, middle schoolers. Today we're doing a bit of a review on 16th notes. I've noticed that when these have appeared, they always seem to scare us and cause some troubles. So we're going to just back it up a little bit and break these down a little bit more. So when we take a single beat, we're talking about like in 2/4, 3/4, or 4/4 time, a single beat is going to be, there we go, a quarter note, right? We know that. That's one beat. Now in a quarter note, I could fit 2 eighth notes, or we've also discussed in the past how we can fit 4 16th notes into a beat, and that's how you draw it. Now eighth notes can be separated by themselves. They have that little flag. When you separate 16th notes, they've got that extra flag, just like how the eighth note has one flag and one beam. The 16th note has 2 of those beams and the double flag looking thing there too. That sums up what I just discussed on the side here. You can see it all in print there as well. When we count that, please don't use this method. That's confusing. Use numbers, okay? We count it 1, E, and A. That's the easiest way to do it. You see it right here. And we've also discussed the fact that in a quarter note, we wouldn't have to say that, but sometimes it helps us to keep track of everything. If I'm just constantly thinking to myself, 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a, but then when I tap the beat, I only tap what's actually written. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. All right, so I don't necessarily have to play all of them, but I still want to be thinking those parts of the beat, okay? And down here again, you can see how we draw the 16th notes. If the flag is going, or the stem is going up, you see it here, and then stem going down. And remember, the middle line is what tells us if the stem should go up or down, okay? If it's on or above that middle line, the stem is going down. Anything below it, the stem is going to go up. So first thing I'd like you to do when you open your assignment here is write 4 16th notes, just single ones, right over here. So you're going to practice drawing them. And I only did 2, but you're going to do 4 of them. Now we can beam them just like we beam eighth notes, and they can be beamed in groups of 2 or groups of 4. So for example, if you're only going to be filling like maybe half of the beat, you would use them beamed in a pair. So right here, we're going to draw 2 16th notes beamed in a pair. And then oftentimes maybe that would be followed by like an eighth rest to fill the other part of the beat, and that's why it would show up that way. If we beam them together in a group of 4, you see that here. So you'll draw some 2 here. So please do these practices. Right there, right there, and right there. Okay, please do those. Next is where I think it starts to confuse us, when we combine 16th notes and eighth notes. Again, ignore this. Actually, you know what I should do? Let's see here. Can I just... Ooh, that works. All right, I like that. So I'm just gonna get rid of that right there for you. And right there. Okay. So when we combine them, I think, again, that's the part that's a problem for us. But if you think always the 1 E and a or 2 E and a, I think that's really going to help you. So like in this first one, the eighth note gets the first half of the beat. The E is part of that, okay? It's kind of like saying 2/4 of something. We usually don't say 2/4, we say a half, but in this case, it helps if we think of that second part of the beat. Okay, so that gets the 1 E, then the 16ths are and up. So you got a whole measure of that. Now in this second measure here, it reverses. We've got one E, and the and is the 8th note. Right? Now I could, just to show you how this would work, I could turn those into 16ths, and it would be, it would work out just fine. So, but I'll get rid of it so I don't confuse you. Okay, so that's how we combine them. Or perhaps instead of having an 8th note in there, it might be combined with an 8th rest, 1 E and the is in there. Or maybe the 8th rest starts it, and then we've got the 16ths after it. So that's 1 E and You wouldn't have to put the parentheses if you want to include that in there. I'm just putting it there so you know it's not necessary to put that part of the beat, but I think it does help. All right, now the exercises. What will you be doing? You're going to, first of all, add stems with flags or beams, they tell you what to do, to make 16th notes as indicated. So in the first one, it wants you to do flags. So that means they're by themselves. And make sure you do 16ths, not 8ths. In letter B, you're doing beams, but they want 2 sets. So you're putting them in groups of 2. C is flags, and you'll do all of those. And then D, they want you to beam that all as 1 set. So you do it as a group of 4 beamed together. Now feel free, if you need to, you can rewatch this video as you're doing the assignment. Just hit pause as you're going so you have those reminders of what you're doing. All right, number 2, we're filling in the correct number. So how many 16th notes, we're on letter A, equals a quarter note? Well, we've talked about that. You can fit 4 16th notes into a quarter note. So then how many could you fit into an 8th note in letter B? Or how many can you fit into a half note in letter C? And how many can you fit into a whole note in letter D? Now that's the one I think that might be the trickiest. Let's also look, we'll do letter C together. So a half note is 2 beats, right? And if I can fit 4 16th notes in each beat, well, I can just think 4 times 2 beats, and I have 8 16th notes. Now in number 3, write 1 note. You're writing a note equal to the value of the notes preceding it. So that means I need to figure out how many beats are on the front side, okay? So in letter A, I'm doing letter A, I've got a 16th note, or 2 16th notes plus an 8th note. Okay. Well, if I was counting that together, it would be actually just like what we were working on before, 1 E, and that would get the and So really that's 1 complete beat, right? Which means a note that equals that is a quarter note. All right. Now, as you're going through this, I think it works best if you try counting. So I'll do letter D. 1 E and that's a full beat. Now the next ones are 8th notes. 2 E and 3 E and Now right there, you wouldn't have to put those because it's kind of small. I could just put 2 and 3 and count them like regular 8th notes. So that's 3 complete beats. And what note equals 3 beats? It's a dotted half note, right? Okay, so you've got some answers already given to you. You've got some others to finish filling in. If you have any questions, you can bring them to class on Wednesday. This is due Wednesday night. So you can bring them to class on Wednesday, or you can leave me a message in the meeting space and I can help you from there. All right, that's all for now. So take care, and I'll see you next time.